There goes the toolbox. Good morning. We're going to continue working on getting the rear end in. The coilovers have finally shown up, so we can actually start putting things back together. So we've got about a month before the next event in which all of this has to be done. And then we have to go get tires. It's really windy today, so the audio is probably going to be terrible. You actually may be able to hear the shop creaking right now. So I apologize in advance for that. We'll do the best that we can. So we're going to start by taking the lower arms out of the car, and after the lower arms are out of the car, moving the new rear end and hopefully getting it in the car. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is right way over here in this little hole is the bolt for this control arm, and I need to figure out how I'm going to get that out of there because it's fairly long and this exhaust is in the way. I hopefully don't have to move it. We'll see. I'm gonna try put this on top. Oh good, I don't need that much length, good. I'm gonna try to put that on top of the exhaust muffler. Let's see if I can get it on there. Maybe I need one more. And if I can get it on there, hopefully I can just spin it out. That would be the best. Okay, perfect. Now this should come right out. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. Did I do that? Okay, that's no wonder that thing don't budge. Because it won't budge. Okay, well, I'm going to grab a brake bar. Okay. So with the delay on the rear end, we're just going to move on and we're going to start bolting stuff up to the front. Alright, the first thing we got to do is support the spindle, and we're going to remove the steering arm, and we're going to remove the strut. If you remember, we left most of the stuff loose, so that just fell right out. But the strut is still tight at the top. Okay, I've unbolted from the top. Now I'm gonna take these out from the bottom, and the strut should come right out. So the next bit is the sketchy bit. I'm gonna lower the control arm all the way and hope that the spring falls out. If it doesn't fall out, I'm gonna pull on it. And if I pull on it and it won't come out, then I need to get my spring compressor out and compress the spring and pull it out. So let's hope that the first one will work. Oh, that hurts. It's out though.
You're the worst.
I know, right? Alright, well, I'm not bleeding, so that's a plus. I'm going to start putting things back together. So these are our new coil-over shocks. I've already partially assembled them because, you know, it's warm inside and they're clean because they're new. But now I need to take these little hats and they have to go past this sleeve here, and they don't, so I need to file it down a little bit. So I need to take the spring off, probably take this boot off, and file this little ring down until that fits snug on top. And they said start by filing all the little divots off, so I'm going to start there. Feels very dirty putting a file on a brand new part, but what can you do? So now that that fits, it wants me to take it apart again so I can start putting other parts on. Install the dust boot. Okay, it says grease this O-ring, and it sits here. I imagine something is going to sit on top of it, but you know, let's just listen to it and see what happens. It's just a tiny O-ring, so I'm just going to do it a little bit, because that's all it should take. It goes there. Then it wants me to grease this little one, and it goes in the groove on the hat. This is a needle bearing. Yes, this is a needle bearing. Place one needle bearing washer. Okay, hang on. Needle bearing washer. This goes right there. And then I have to pack this with grease. So you just put grease on top, smear it all around until it fills all the recesses. And then we're going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. Alright. The needle bearing goes on top of there, and another washer goes on top of there. And that cap goes on top of there. Then we reinstall the spring, which goes, I don't think it matters which way it goes, but it's got a name on it, so I figure I'd make it so you can read it. Oops. And then this goes on top of here. And should be seated all the way. One of these rests on top of there. That goes there. That goes there. Okay. I think this should be fully assembled. Yeah, now it wants me to put this in the car. So, why don't we go ahead and do that? Just gonna put that there to make sure it doesn't fall down. And I think we're gonna go to the top and loosely put everything together. Alright, this came off, and then this is going to go on top, and we're going to tighten it down, but not all the way yet. Maybe I'll just do that because you could hear it shift at the bottom, and I want to get that all settled before I tighten everything up. So now we have this, and we're going to connect the actual spindle to the coilover. Hook up the steering shaft, but I can tell you already, this brake bracket is going to get in the way. Yeah, I can't even get a finger between there. So I guess that's what this bracket is for, because they said it was for the brakes. Well, I'm going to need to take this off and move it. So, apparently in Fox bodies, when you're at full turn, you touch on the bracket, the brake bracket right here that holds the line on, and they suggest you move it back 1 inch for clearance. So I'm gonna do that so that I don't have clearance problems. But in order to access that nicely, I'm gonna have to take this out again. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out again, which of course is mildly annoying, and probably why at the beginning of the instructions it says read all of the instructions before proceeding. I guess for now I'm going to put the coilover back in and see if we have achieved a proper amount of clearance. I got enough clearance. Way. Okay, I'm not going to use my hands this time. I'm going to get something to pull with, and I'm going to put my foot in front of it so it doesn't fling out at my face. Oh, much better that way. So the last time I did that, that big old scab and the bruise that's all around here was the result. So I was aching to not do that again. Now I'm going to put my brake back on. Alright, I've checked my dust shield for clearance. So now, when I spin this, the only thing you hear is, I mean, it's a little wobbly because I only put 2 of these in. So all you hear is it hitting against the brake pad, which is good. Not scraping against the dust shield. Now all we got to do is put the wheel on and let the car down. Hooray! As you can see, the wheel's pointing in and the wheel is straight. The steering wheel is straight, so I need to pull the tie rod out a little bit. But we'll deal with that another time. For now, the coilovers in the front anyway are installed, and I'm happy with that. And we'll have to give you an update on the rear end in the near future. Alright, I thought I would give you an update on the rear ends. So the problem with the rear end is I have found out that the 99 to 04 cars, which this is an 03 rear end, used bigger bolt holes on the chassis of the car. You can see here, the bottom one here came off the car, and the top one here came off this rear end. So I thought, well, that sucks, but these bushings look kind of shot anyway. Why don't we try to look and find the manufacturer, see if we can get new bushings for these arms that will fit on this car, because there's no real reason for them to change the design for the arm itself, just the bushing size, because it's just the hole in the middle that's different. So I looked it up. It cost $95 for new bushings, and all of the reviews say that they kind of suck. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna buy new arms, because you can get Maximum Motorsports sport arms for $190. So for the extra $100 we get new arms that are better, already come with bushings, and we know that they will fit because they're designed for this car. The only other thing is I wanted to double check all of the other bolts. Maximum says you should use these upper arms, the stock upper arms, as long as your bushings are good. Which these bushings, you know, they don't look amazing, but they look fine. And obviously the front, I know bolts to the car because it came off the car. And the rear, this bolt here, I checked, and it is the exact same size as this bolt here, so that should work fine. And then the bottom bolts, which go down here, I checked, and they are the exact same size. They are the exact same thread pitch and everything. So those will work fine. So I think if we just take this stock arm, bolt it up here, get new lower arms, bolt them down there, we should finally be able to mount this thing in the car. That's the update I wanted to give you, since obviously I started this video by working on the rear end and then just sort of didn't, and then I ended up doing the front. So we've got finished the rear end, put it back in, do the brakes, you bleed the brakes and all that kind of stuff, alignment, tires, install the parking brake, and we should be ready to go. We've got 3 weeks to do it. Let's hope we can get it all done. We'll see. I hope you have a nice day.
Thanks.